What's up, guys? It is the Trading Infiltration, and today we're going to talk about Apple. So, if we look on the weekly time frame for Apple, um, Apple was pretty much in a downtrend earlier this year, and around April 2026, it found some support and it bounced up. It's been consistently making higher highs and higher lows ever since April. And so recently, it just came up here and made a resistance. So it met some resistance. I already had that mark, but it met some resistance up here at roughly 316.94. And ever since, we've been in a downtrend. I wouldn't say that we're in a bearish market or anything like that. I would just say we're just experiencing a pullback after so many stocks have met all-time highs. And so what I'm looking for this week, right? If we look on the daily time frame. Now, we have a gap here that needs to be filled, but we also have a lot of bearish volume up here. But that doesn't mean that we can't catch a play to the upside. So on Friday, Apple closed as a one. Their candle closed as a one for the day, which means that they basically just ranged within the high and the low of the previous day's candle. And so if you trade the strat, you know that we don't trade a one. The one is just a setup for the next candle. And so for Apple, what I'm looking for is a break in order to play calls. I'm looking for a break above 285.95. If we can hold above 285.95, that leaves the door open for 288.80. If it can hold above 288.80, then that leaves the door open for 292.94. And as you guys can see, I already have this written out for me. And then for puts to the downside, because for the strat, we have a plan for both ways. We want to see a break below 274.21. That can leave the door open for 273.75. And then that could possibly, if it can hold, that can possibly leave the door open for price to come to 268.14. So these are the levels that I'm looking for on this week. If we look at the 4-hour chart, we do see that Apple came up to this resistance here and it rejected. So it's very possible. It is very possible that we could see more downside potential, but we never know. We don't know. We just have to have a plan for both ways. If we open up on Monday and price breaks below 278.64, then that will give me confirmation that we're heading back to the downside, right? But my actual entry would be on the daily for 274.21. And you may say like, why would you wait until it get down there? You could have more profit if you get in early. Well, guys, we want to make sure that it's actually going to break below this previous day's support. Because honestly, it could just break this level here and then come to 274.21 and bounce up. You know what I mean? So we want to make sure that it's going to break a previous low before we actually get into the downside. The same thing on the upside. We want to make sure that it's actually going to break this high here before we actually get into calls and ride it up further up. Or I'm sorry, we want to make sure we break this high at 285.95 before we get in and ride it up. The reason why we want to see it break 285.95 is because, as you can tell, that was the previous resistance. So if we can break and hold above this previous resistance, we can definitely get up to 288.80 and then possibly 292.94. I do have my 21-day EMA here. If we go to the weekly time frame, price came to this EMA, the 21-day EMA, and it bounced up, right? So if we go to the daily chart, the 21-day EMA is sitting all the way up here at 294.41. So that tells me that it's not all like it tells me that calls are not off the table, right? Yes, it's in a downtrend. Yes, we have a lot of bearish momentum, but because price came down to this level here and found support and bounced up, that tells me that we could possibly be witnessing a reversal. We don't know. We just have to pay attention to the charts and have a game plan for both ways. And so again, guys, just to go over what we went over, we're waiting for a break for the upside. We're waiting for a break of 285.95, and then that'll lead to 288.80. This will be our first take profit if price can actually hold. If price continues to hold above 288.80, Then our next take profit will be at 292.94. All right. To the downside, guys, we're waiting for price to break 274.21. Our first take profit will be 273.75. If it can break 273.75, that leaves the door open for the next leg down, which is 268.14. But guys, let me know, what are your levels this week? Are you playing Apple? Leave it down in the comments below, guys. Catch you on the next one. Peace.